This is my submission to Shark Tank. Google Shark Tank if necessary. One has to answer the following questions for one submission. Introduction. Hi, I'm Dr. Dave and I'm here to give away a business that is concerned with children's well-being. I cannot make this business a success, but you can. But first to the formal stuff. 1. Question, name, etc. My name is Professor David Mollet and I'm originally from County Durham in Northern England, and I am an educator. Question 2. What is your business product? My business is to optimize children's well-being and learning. I've spent nearly all my working life in teacher training in 3 different countries on 3 continents, so I do know what I'm talking about. My aim is to share my extensive and voluminous research, lessons, articles and material with teachers, parents and educators. Question 3. How much money do you need from investors and what percentage of your company product are you willing to give up? Be specific. I'm seeking $0 to $150,000 in exchange for 100% of the business. Question 4. How will the money be used? I have good people in Auckland and Shanghai and soon in London who are willing to give up well-paid jobs to market and advocate the lessons, etc., because they believe, as I do, that what I have to offer is desperately needed. The money would be used to pay them and to hire others as required. If you pay nothing, I would ask you to seriously consider hiring them for marketing in New Zealand and China. 5A. What is so interesting or unique about your business product? Besides the research which underpins all content and methodology, I have a complete curriculum and hundreds of lessons. In order to optimize children's well-being and learning, it is crucial that content and methodology relates to hemispheric development and brain functioning. Without such correlation, there is an enormous wastage of human and financial resources. I know of no other approach that offers integrated curriculum based on a thoroughly researched theory of child development, content and methodology of teaching. What Mollet Learning Academy offers is unique. 5B. Why will people feel they must have your business product? If you view my curriculum vitae, the long version, I supply the URL, you will see that I have received enormous support from faculty and teachers in the past. Unfortunately, because of the politicization of education, the freedom that is necessary for me to practice my craft was missing. It is somewhat ironic that such freedom exists in Shanghai, China, which now easily has the highest achieving students worldwide. 5C. Is it fully patented or is the patent pending? No patent is necessary. It is copyrighted by me and I am happy to transfer copyright as long as I am satisfied it is transferred into safe hands to continue the work. 5D. How far along is the development of your business product? Is it just an idea, a working prototype, or an existing product or business? This business was first registered in 1988 in New Zealand, so it has existed for over 25 years. 5E. Is your product or business currently making money? If so, how much, etc.? I closed the commercial side of the business 6 years ago to concentrate on research. I can send you a long list of recent articles including Shanghai, a model for educational reform, and education as a determinant of decline, etc., indicating the mess USA, UK, New Zealand politicians are making of education, while China has decentralized and depoliticized their educational administration. 5F. How or why does it work? If you go to YouTube and type in Mollet Learning Academy, you will see a list which is added to weekly of present video clips. I have drafted the first 165 scripts and now spend my time video scribing them. 5G. How is your product different from similar ideas? What makes yours unique or better? My pedagogy is based on answering 3 questions. Why is it taught? What is taught? And how is it taught? In answering these 3 questions, we stay laying the foundation for the correct theory from which and on the curriculum should be built. It is very important for any educational process that such theory is stated in an unequivocal manner. It follows that every teacher, educator, administrator and others can appreciate that what is taught is based on sound theory. Meanwhile, in the UK, USA and New Zealand, our agendas are based on political expediency and excesses of hubris, unfortunately. To answer the question, why is it taught, we need a theory of child development, that will explain in detail the different phases and stages of development. To answer the question what is taught, we need a detailed curriculum that relates and is synchronized with the theory of child development. It can be a considerable waste of resources if the curriculum does not relate to what is occurring in children's brain functioning. It is crucial that harmonious and balanced hemispheric development occurs. To answer the question how is it taught, we need a methodology of teaching. In any classroom, it is important that content is taught by an approach that relates to a methodology of teaching. If teaching is based on these three areas, it is not complicated to optimize children's well-being and learning. If the opposite occurs, as it has in the UK, USA and New Zealand, we can expect children's well-being and learning not to be optimized and declines in international test scores. We need to emphasize that if content does not relate to hemispheric development, the right neurotransmitters will not connect in the way nature has intended, and the child's natural development will be frustrated or thwarted. 5H, how did you come up with the idea? I have been a teacher in very difficult situations in the dock area of the East End of London and the industrial north of England, Bradford. I learned a great deal about how children learn from teaching children who face many challenges in learning and life. Later, I spent the remaining part of my life and up until the present involved in teacher training. So after spending some 50 years in education, I should have learned something. Well, I've learned a lot and now want to share it. Problem is that what is glaringly obvious to me, politicians, and it is they who make the educational decisions in the UK, USA and New Zealand, indicate time and time again their ignorance of what is needed for children to succeed. All I can do is to attempt to make a contribution to changing that. 6. How much have you invested in your business product? I've invested most of my life attempting to optimize children's well-being and learning. I've been at this, albeit at different levels, for decades, but at last the world may be catching up and perceiving what is glaringly obvious to me. What would happen if you could not get your business off the ground? For me, there would be no change, but I would still wake up every morning knowing that children will be damaged for life during that particular day. 7. When did you become an aspiring entrepreneur? What influenced this decision? I left the world of inside the box, so to speak, in 1981. I was a university lecturer in the UK, but the Minister of Education, Margaret Thatcher, introduced testing for children as young as 5. I knew I was not in this world to traumatize young children, so I left. And although there have been many challenges since, it was the right decision. Since then, I have formed various non-profits in the USA and New Zealand, but I'm trying to avoid having to do that again. 8. What does your business product mean to you? While children keep being damaged because of the education they receive, I have no option but to continue the work. I said I would retire at 60, didn't happen. I said at 65, it didn't happen. Retire at 70, it didn't happen. Retire at 75, it didn't happen. I'm now 76. Come on, you guys, help me out. I don't want to wait until I'm 100 before I retire. How about helping me to retire before I'm 80 years of age? 9. What is your ultimate goal for your business product? Eventually, I hope to establish programs initially in San Diego, Auckland, Shanghai and London based on the evidence I provide. 10. Tell us something interesting about yourself. It was 1940 and I was 2 and we were being bombed. I was under the table with my mother and we heard the whistling as a bomb as it fell. The whistling got louder and louder. My mother was screaming, I guess I was. The bomb fell on the house opposite, killing the occupants. All our windows blew in, the ceiling fell down, etc. I believe I saw later bodies and even perhaps body parts. My father was away at sea in convoys crossing the Atlantic. Many ships were sunk, but my father never suffered a scratch. We were bombed many times. By the end of the war, my mother was very ill, and it was my job to look after her. I was 7 when I saw her try and commit suicide. Obviously, from then on, my only concern in life was to be responsible for my mother. I failed everything at school, dropped out of school at 16. I had no confidence and was even afraid to leave the house. It was a long, hard road to even function in society, but eventually, some 13 years later and onwards, I became a teacher, a UK university lecturer, USA professor of education, educational consultant, author and broadcaster. That's not too bad for a dropout. 11. What has been your biggest challenge so far? Because of the severe trauma I suffered in childhood, I suffer from episodes, occasionally severe, of PTSD. It's not easy to live a life when fear is only one step away. I believe it is an indication of my determination and perseverance that it is rare that I am debilitated by my illness. But only those who suffer a similar affliction can truly appreciate the acute and severe effect it has on one's life. Tragically, 22 young vets commit suicide in the USA every day. 12. What do your family and friends think of your business product? They fully support what I am doing and wish they had the resources to help. Please keep reminding yourself this is about children's well-being and they depend on us to take this seriously. So I hope you will. Thank you for your time.